am East, so that Hubbard Hall is the very edge of campus, going towards Hagedorn Road. Again, that's moving east, which is more towards my direction.
All right. Well, again, give me a sense of how far from I am East is Hubbard Hall South.
Hubbard and I am East would be closer than Berkey and I am East are together.
So again, you're talking about someone who could be on foot going from place to place?
Someone could be on foot if you just got word that they're at Hubbard.
Wow. Because again, the latest we've gotten from the police there is that I am East is being secured. They're saying that there's only one suspect at this time. But again, as you can imagine, students reporting, hearing what they believe to be more than one shooter. And as I've made clear, that is something that can happen in these kinds of situations where people can believe that there is more than one person involved. I assume, how far is Hubbard Hall South from where you are?
Hubbard Hall is probably a 5 to 10 minute drive from where I am.
Okay, so a drive. So you have not heard any shots fired at this time, correct?
I have not heard any gunshots, no. I was there earlier today, and thankfully I've been home from campus for a while.
Yeah. Is there any kind of internal system whereby the campus, the administration, can immediately communicate with all of the students?
Absolutely, yeah. The alerts come through text and through email, and it's, in an instant they can send us an alert that something is happening, and that's how we got word that this was happening today.
So exactly what did they say to you, and have they said anything to you in the last 5 or 10 minutes? Because again, we're getting this report from the scanner that Hubbard Hall South has now been the third location of a shooting. Are you getting any of this kind of information internally?
Not from Michigan State University. The email that we got was at 8:39 tonight, and that was that the initial shots were fired. It's saying, secure in place immediately. This is a quote. It says run, hide, fight, and then it tells you what each of those mean. So that's the last email that we've gotten from Michigan State.
I should say the Detroit News now citing an MSU spokesperson saying there has been at least one fatality. Again, we don't have that confirmed, and this is very much an ongoing situation. There is an active shooter on the campus of Michigan State University. There have been 3 locations, as far as we know, that have been hit. There have been significant injuries. We believe at all of them, although we certainly know, it seems for certain at the first 2 that there were injuries, that directly from the Michigan State University Police and Public Safety. The last location, Hubbard Hall South, coming from the scanner that we are now monitoring as this story continues. And again, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, we are trying to be very careful here and cognizant of the fact that there are a lot of people who are, hold on, we've got a suspect description. Short, the suspect is described as short, possibly black, with a mask. Is that correct? Short male with a mask, and as described as black, and this is by, who is this coming from, Justin? Okay, so MSU Police and Public Safety, the official source, now saying, all right, so they're still receiving multiple calls of an active shooter at this time. So this means that they are looking for this person, described as a short, potentially black man wearing a mask, on the campus of Michigan State University, with multiple scenes now, what we believe have been 3 scenes, the entire campus being told to secure in place as this is happening. As you can imagine, we are continuing to look down, and I'm continuing to get in the very latest information as we talk to Brianna Finn on the phone, who is there on the campus and went to both undergrad there and is a PhD graduate student. I think it goes without saying, Brianna, that nothing like this has ever happened on this campus before, as far as you know?
Nothing like this has ever happened. Like I said, I have never, ever felt unsafe on this campus for, over, it has to be 6 now years that I have been living up here and been working and going to school on this campus. I've never felt unsafe like this.
Yeah, we're looking now at pictures that are coming in of the police staging areas. I believe this is outside the first location at the Berkey Hall. And this was the first of what we believe now are 3 locations that an active shooter has been at. The second location, Brianna telling us, was about 20 minutes away, walking from the first, and the third location, Hubbard Hall South, a little bit closer to IM East. It's a very serious situation, obviously. We're going to continue to monitor it here. Ashley Banfield. Banfield starts right now with more of our coverage.
Welcome. We are continuing our breaking news coverage. I'm Ashley Banfield, and you're looking at live pictures right now in East Lansing, Michigan. The campus of Michigan State University is on lockdown tonight. The message that students at Michigan State received earlier tonight, a little over an hour and a half ago. Reports of shots fired, an incident occurring on or near the East Lansing campus. Secure in place immediately. Run, hide, fight.
All right, let me say my hellos real quick. But let me also say that that girl saying she never felt safe, I would never allow my children to go to that university. The crime rate is like 11. National average is 22. It's not a good area, like, to begin with. Crime is really high. Your odds of becoming a victim of a crime are like 1 in 2. I mean, it's pretty bad. So for that girl to act like, oh my God, it's so safe here. No, it's not. It's a bad area to begin with. But yeah, this is crazy. I have 2 kids leaving for college in less than 7 months. This is really freaking me out. Like, really freaking me out that all these colleges and, as a parent, you spend your whole life, wanting to send your kids to college and, them having fun and so on and so forth. And then you have shit like this every day. I don't even know I'm at the point, I'm like scared to send them to college. And college is like what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine them not going to college. But this is scary. So if you don't know, there's an active shooter on Michigan State University. There's not much more information. They say they possibly have a suspect, but they don't have anyone at large. It's crazy. Crazy. Hey, East Coast. So let me say hi to everyone. What's up, members, Patreons? This was not planned for my live tonight, but when I went to put on News Nation, I saw it. I was like, oh, crap, this is kind of important. So that's why I'm playing it first. And I was going to play Banfield anyway. It is terrifying, for real. Hey, Bedwolf. Hey, Gunner. I need a scanner.
In the dark, some of them can see all these flashing lights outside of their windows, but you will probably notice in the backdrop of these shots that many of those windows are actually dark because they've also been told to keep their lights off, knowing that there's an active shooter on campus. Again, if you're just joining us, this is our live breaking coverage of an active shooting situation at Michigan State.
Most colleges are safe, but that doesn't mean the people are. You obviously didn't watch Death in the Dorms, because that was kind of scary. These kids were brutally murdered on college campus. Kind of sad.
Police officers who have been disseminating most of the information till now. I am seeing so many ambulances, but at this point, many of them are stationary. We saw 1 or 2 that were moving, but we can't tell you if there's even been, casualties evacuated at this point. But now the latest, just within the last 10 minutes, is that there are at least 3 different shooting sites. Also, want to let you know that the students themselves, some of them have reported that they think there's more than one shooter. That is entirely possible that they believe that because...
Okay, let's not be a conspiracy theorist, Miss Banfield, because according to the police, there's only one. So, doesn't matter what other people say. According to the cops, there's only one. So let's not be a conspiracy theorist, Ash.
In stature and wearing a mask. The Michigan State University police have said to the media that there are multiple reported injuries, but they have yet to report if there are any fatalities. Only the local media in Michigan is reporting, and I believe that they are local media from in and around the East Lansing area, that there's at least one fatality. If you listen, and I'm just going to stop down so you can listen to the natural ambient sound. Very few sirens, but I can hear one in the distance, which I thought was interesting. With all of those ambulances on site, I would have imagined that those ambulance sirens would have been rolling at a pretty frenetic pace, but it's somewhat quiet, at least in this location.
Guys, I just want to let you guys know, don't judge. I have an inside source there. Fluffer did it. Fluff and Buka, they're guilty. That's why Fluff is laying on my lap right now, because he knows he did something wrong. So, yeah, Fluffer did it. Just so you know.
Shooter on foot. Again, the description, a black male, short in stature, wearing a mask. He is really making a lot of geographical progress. Here, just look at some of these emergency vehicles. I don't know if these are arriving at the campus or if they're leaving, but if they're leaving, they don't seem to be leaving at a very quick pace, which is something we always look for if there are severe casualties and they are racing them to the closest hospitals. Strangely, it sounds very quiet, which is very unusual at this point, given the fact that we've had these reports that there are multiple injuries. Again, if you're familiar with Michigan State University, the shooting began at a location called Berkey Hall, and then it moved to another location called IM East. Now, I'm not sure which one is the gymnasium. I think it might be IM East, but one of them involved a gymnasium where a lot of these students actually attend parties, the gymnasium where many of these kids actually were sequestered. And so Berkey Hall apparently migrated, from what we're understanding, to the second location, IM East. And then the third location is called Hubbard Hall. Now, I'm not familiar with this campus. And
What's a national TikTok ban? Was there a TikTok ban? That's what it said, TikTok ban. I don't watch TikTok, so I don't know.
There may be 3 fatalities, but we want to watch that reporting because oftentimes students can, circulate a lot of information very quickly before they have all of the information. I think we might have one of the students on the phone right now who's sequestering in a dorm. If you are on the phone with me, I don't have your name, but I'll just check and see if you can hear me. Wait, Joey Preco. Joey, can you hear me? I don't think Joey can hear me yet, but I'm being told that we have Joey Preco on the phone, and Joey is being sequestered in one of the dorms. We have heard that wherever anyone was at the moment, about an hour and 40 minutes ago, they were told to stay in place, shut off the lights, no matter where they were. And some of the buildings were actually evacuated by local police. Now, don't forget, there are multiple different divisions that will respond here. I think first and foremost, the Michigan State University police were there. I can see the FBI on the back of that jacket, so there you have that. So we've got FBI, we've got K-9, we've got Michigan State University police. Likely East Lansing police are there, and I wouldn't doubt it if some of the other responders from other towns and cities around East Lansing have made their way there as well. Ambulances, clearly multiple ambulances. So my guess is that there are multiple different disciplines and divisions that have sent their responders to help in this. I remember during 9/11, responders were coming in from all over, from the tri-state area, from as far as they could, and they just kept coming. So when you...
Hey, you're right, Glory. Today's a 1-3. It's the 13th. Good call. At first, I'm like, why is she telling me that? It's not Friday the 13th. Then I realized it. Hey, Southern gal. Don't live in fear. Never. But it's still not, I mean, I don't want to put it into the universe. Good job, Southern gal. I don't want to put something bad in the universe, but it's still scary. I know. I'm so proud of you.
We're okay. I see your lights are off as well. Is that, you were told to do that?
Yeah, we were supposed to barricade our doors, lock our doors, and just stay inside.
Okay, so tell me where you are in relation to some of the reporting that I've just done. And I'll just, if you didn't catch what I was saying because we just signed on to this Zoom, that the shooting began at Berkey Hall, migrated to IM East, and at latest report was over at Hubbard Hall. Where are you located? And don't give me your exact location. Don't give me your exact location. I just want to be mindful of your safety. But, you know, within miles.
What we know so far is 1 dead. That's the confirmation. There was an active shooter on Michigan University. So far, 1 dead. The rumors are it could be more than one shooter, but I don't think so. They're on lockdown. They're not allowed to have lights in their rooms because they don't know who the shooter is. It's scary times. But if you guys don't remember, I just want to give her a big shout out and acknowledge this. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, Southern Gal came on my panel and she was like really scared to go out at night. And I told her, I said, you can't live your life in fear. And she was like, I know, but... And she lived her life so long not going out at night because she was scared. So she just said that she went to Walmart tonight. So that's like huge. So everyone give Southern Gal purple hearts. And if you were here that night, then you know what we're talking about. If you weren't here that night, you may be a little confused. But yeah, that's a big, big, big step. So that is absolutely awesome, Southern Gal. So proud of you. Good job. Hey, Connie.
Hear any gunfire either at any point or prior to that scene that you witnessed of the 3 people in black jumping into a car?
I mean, we definitely could hear some shots off in the distance before, and we weren't quite sure if the ones near us were actually gunshots or what they were. They could have been bangings of other sorts. So.
Have you heard any instructions being yelled out from the responders who are down below and outside of your window?
We have not, but we have seen a lot of kids running outside, especially like 30 minutes ago. There was a big group of kids running out of the building.
Have you barricaded your door?
We have not. We have locked it, but we haven't really heard anyone on our floor.
And have you been in contact with others who are in the dorm as to where they are, what they're doing?
Yep, we've been making sure all of our friends are safe and everyone's communicating with each other.
Have you also been able to call the police and let them know what you saw and where you saw it and what kind of, first of all, what kind of car? Do you recall seeing what kind of car it was that those 3 people jumped into?
Was it a black?
It kind of looked like a black Jeep.
Jeep SUV.
Yeah, Jeep SUV. But once again, we weren't really sure if that was just kids trying to get away in a ride from a parent or something or what. So.
How long ago was that?
About 20 minutes ago.
30, probably closer to 30 minutes ago.
So it would have been about 9:55 Eastern time, 8:55 your time?
Yep.
I'd say around then, yeah.
When was the last instruction you all had to stay sheltered in place? When was the last time you heard anything from, you know, an alert or from a loudspeaker or from someone knocking on your door?
We haven't heard any. We got emails from the school, obviously saying that there's an active shooter, but in terms of people like coming to our door and stuff like that, we've kind of just been staying here and making sure we're all inside and safe.
Yeah, we got an email sent out just to lock down and stay in your dorms and get to a safe place.
Nothing over the loudspeakers, just kind of sitting here waiting.
I think it's the same alert that I read at the top of this program. That was the MSU alert saying a shots fired incident occurring on or near East Lansing campus. Secure in place immediately. Run, hide, fight. That's the same one you got?
Yeah, same exact one.
I'm going to encourage you to, consider putting an extra barricade up against your door. You can never be too safe in a circumstance like this, guys. The other question I wanted to ask you, there's 3 of you in one room. Do you know how many kids are in your dorm?
All together?
Yeah.
In the whole hall? I mean, probably upwards of like 500, I'm guessing, easily.
How many kids do you think were actually in the dorm? Because, if the active alert went out at 8:30 your time, I would think a lot of kids would be out and about, maybe in the library, out for dinner, over at friends. Like, how many people do you think were actually in the dorm and are safe and secure in your dorm?
Definitely at least half. I mean, I know a lot of people were out eating food and stuff, which is the scary part to think about. But a lot of my friends that are in this dorm have texted me saying they're safe and locked in, so.
That was my next question. What other communications have you had with other students, where they are, what their circumstances are? Are there groups of people who are sheltering together? Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. We've heard a lot from our friends. Like I have my twin brother. He's over in Phillips right now, so he was in a room barricaded. And then same with other people in this dorm and around us. Everyone just staying hiding in their rooms. So.
Declan, you said you have a twin brother?
Yeah.
And you've been in touch with him. Where did you say he is? And don't tell me the exact place. Just how far from you?
He was over by where the shooting first started.
Which place is that? Was that near Berkey Hall?
Yeah, near Berkeley and the Union.
So I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways: Berkey and Berkeley. Which one is it?
I'm honestly not sure at the moment. I think it's Berkeley. Yeah, Berkeley.
Okay. And when you said to me you thought that there might be, you thought there might be more than one shooter. Did you feel that way only because you saw the 3 people, or did you feel that way because of the multiple locations and how far away they were from each other?
Yeah, we feel like there's obviously, I think, can like confirm that there's obviously more than one, because I don't think this one person would be able to go and hit all these different places and such.
No, they haven't found them yet. And the kids are saying that there's 3, but news is saying there's 1.
Before I'm going to mention it again, just because we're talking to you on camera, we have not told our viewers where you're located. Please don't mention the dorm where you are, but that you're locked in your room. Not a bad idea. I'll mention it again. To barricade the door as well, put something in front of it just as an extra precaution. Next question for you. Do you have any idea at this point how many first responders are sort of within view of where you are? We're seeing one camera angle, and every so often we'll see another one, and it looks like dozens. But for all I know, I can't see the whole campus, and I don't know what view yours is compared to ours. There could be hundreds. So do you have a feel for how many first responders are out there?
Well, I know a couple minutes ago, they've sort of cleared out this area because there was a shooter in our building, we believe, and they also found some evidence of it. But there was at least 200-300 cops out there, and there's helicopters still going over us right now.
You can still hear the helicopters above?
Yes, we can.
Well, we are getting reports that there are fatalities. There's some social media, which is, never the best source to report, of some photographs of some fatalities. So this is extraordinarily serious, and I do mean it when I say take the utmost precaution, kids. Have you all been in touch with your parents?
Yes, we have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they know where you are. They know where your twin brother is, Declan. They know.
Yeah.
Everybody's got I don't want you being on television without your parents knowing first that you're safe and secure where you are.
Yeah, no, obviously checking up on friends and family first. So making sure everyone that we know and everyone that obviously is close to us is safe.
Kids, I'm going to imagine that you're in your early 20s or thereabouts. And I have to say, when I was in college,
Come on, this kid on the right looks like he's like 16.
Have been as you've grown up. I'm assuming that you've done active shooter drills in your maybe even elementary schools or middle schools or high schools before you ended up at Michigan State?
Yeah, we definitely did a lot. I mean, all throughout elementary, middle school, high school, like you said. And I mean, it has sort of prepared us for this moment, but being in here is kind of surreal. I mean, of course, we're going to be nervous and scared, but we just have to stick through it and continue to contact our loved ones and everything.
Katie, do you want to add to that?
I feel like he covered it pretty well. I agree. I just think that
Oh,
we
it's a
need to
girl.
hope and pray that everyone we love and know is safe and everyone's doing okay.
Have you all been able to get a hold of all of your friends? Is there anybody you have not been able to get a hold of that you're concerned about?
As of now, everyone I've talked to is okay, so that's good to hear from you.
Yeah, same with me.
Okay, don't go anywhere, guys. I just want to, for any of the viewers who are just tuning in, I want to update them.
Okay, not for nothing, but a girl can't be in the same dorm room as a guy. Like, they don't have co-ed dorms like that. I mean, co-ed dorms, but not co-ed rooms. So she must be someone's girlfriend. They are trying times. This is crazy. Why are you targeting college kids, though? I would think they're the last people you want to target.
At Michigan State University to shelter in place, and then also the ominous instruction to run, hide, fight, which now we're hearing more and more in active shooting scenarios for schools and universities. That if it gets close to you, these are the instructions. Run first. If you can't run, hide. If you can't hide, ultimately fight. I'm gonna come back to Joey, Declan, and Katie in a moment, but I want to just bring you up to speed on some of the latest information as well. Again, this is a shooting that we believe has taken place in 3 different locations at Michigan State University campus at East Lansing, Michigan. It started at Berkeley Hall, and then it migrated to another location called IM East. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you what IM stands for. I will work on getting that for you. After it migrated to IM East, about 45 minutes after that, it moved to another location called Hubbard Hall. One of those locations is a gymnasium. I heard one student reporting that.
Hey, Lindsay, there's an active shooter on Michigan State University. I'm going to turn it off in a minute because it seems like they're just repeating the same stuff. But I wanted to hear what was going on.
But they've been left with that information and nothing else since for almost 2 hours. Multiple reported injuries. Local news saying 1 dead. I have a tweet here. Let me just ask my control room. I have a tweet from Lynn McCain. I just want to ask the control room, has this been vetted? Can I report this? I need the control room to tell me if I can report this. It's a little difficult. Can I please get, yeah, I was sent this tweet. Before I'm going to put this out over the airwaves, I want to know if this is okay. Okay. I'm going to wait on that, folks. I hope you'll understand.
Oh, come on.
It's thought that there's one suspect. That's what the police are saying. But you can see the students who are on your screen right now, Joey, Declan, and Katie. And they're not the only students who said they feel that there may be more than one. It might be because there are multiple locations. It might be also what Joey, Declan, and Katie reported earlier, that they saw 3 people all dressed in black across from where they are, running across the street and getting into a vehicle and taking off. Now, that might have very well been, as they said.
I feel like I just got scammed from Banfield. Like, you can't say shit like that.
I think you already answered, but in case I missed it, were you able to call police and tell them about what you saw?
Yeah, I called 911 and let them know, but there were also multiple reports going through. Immediately after, when we were listening to the broadcast, we heard the exact description go through.
Okay, so you were also able to tell them that you saw, I think you said it was a black Jeep or a dark Jeep SUV?
It was sort of far away. We couldn't get the exact thing, but I did get a video of it, so if I need to go back and look at it, could possibly do that.
No, the police are not saying 3. Only the students are saying they believe there were 3, but not news reports. Police are saying there's only 1.
To jump off our Zoom to do that, please do that. Okay, I don't want to hinder your communication with people who may be looking for that vehicle. Can any of you tell me about the gymnasium? Which one is the gymnasium? Is that Berkeley? Is that IM East? Or is that Hubbard Hall, the gymnasium where parties are held, I'm told?
The gymnasium is the IM East, so the IM is the intramural East, so.
It's a place where everyone's playing basketball and stuff. I have a couple friends that were working over there, and they had to get evacuated very quickly from that spot.
Okay, so that is a sports complex where, I mean, I had heard that there were dances and parties held there, but also that would have been a place where there would have been kids tonight at 8:30 local time. Well, actually 8:30 Eastern time, right? 7:30, you got the initial notice Central time?
I believe it was 8:30.
Yeah, 8:38 is when we got the first notice.
Central time?
For our time.
Eastern.
Eastern time.
Oh, Eastern time. I beg your pardon. Okay. So you said that you knew that there were some kids in that gymnasium and they were evacuated from that gymnasium?
Yeah, they were told to run, and all the workers and kids that were held up inside trying to hide.
Who told them to run? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure. I was just getting contact from my friends that were working in there.
And do you know where they ran to?
I mean, the next closest is our dorm, so they could have possibly ran here or just to get cover from another area. There's multiple buildings around.
And did you say, Joey, that you knew someone who was in that, you knew somebody who was at the gym playing basketball?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me exactly what they told you, or if you were able to get any information from them?
All I really heard, I haven't been able to talk to him again, but he was working at, I believe, the front desk or somewhere around there. And when he had to get evacuated, he just ran off. So he said he was all safe, though.
He was working at the front desk, and he's safe, you said, right?
Yes, he was.
Did he hear any shots fired?
I believe so. He's probably heard the same ones that we saw or heard.
Okay, if possible, I don't know if you can ask our control room or the people who contacted you to link you up with me on the air. If you could maybe connect him to our control room, we can maybe interview him about what he saw, what he witnessed, and what happened over at IM East. And that's Intramural East. Thank you for telling me what the IM is, but that makes perfect sense. It's the gym. So the first shots were at Berkeley Hall. The second shots were at Intramural East, the gymnasium, and then the third shots at Hubbard Hall. How far apart is Berkeley from IM East, and how far is IM East from Hubbard?
So Berkeley isn't too far away. It's maybe a mile, which is decently far for someone to cover by foot. But IM East is the building right next to us, and then across is Hubbard Hall, which those are directly near each other, just right across the street.
And do you have any idea the length of time in between the shooting instances? Like, was it, the first shooting was an hour prior, and then the second two shootings, because they were closer in proximity, were tighter in time?
For sure, I think, yeah. When I heard it was over at Hubbard, when we were listening to the broadcast, it was only probably a 10, 15-minute difference.
Did you get an instruction to shut your lights off?
We did not, but we thought that was the best situation to do. So
it is a very prudent thing to do.
We also went into our bathroom that we had into our room and just kind of hid in there for a little bit because there were cops coming into our building to look for more shooters.
So tell me about that. You heard police officers doing a sweep of your building. You could hear them out in the hallway?
Yeah, not on the floor, but we were sitting in here and probably 30, 40 kids ran out all screaming like
he's in the dining hall.
He's in the dining hall. And that's when the cops came in and went in to sweep the building.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% certain, but we did hear that there were fireworks and gunpowders in one of the bathrooms. I don't know if it was for a trap or what they were planning to do, but.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Are you saying that this was in the dorm where you're currently located?
Yes, it was.
So it's believed that the shooter was inside your dorm earlier?
Yeah.
Do you know if that's been confirmed?
I haven't really been able to check.
Yeah, we didn't really want to leave, especially since all these kids came out screaming, he's in the dining hall. So we didn't want to start running away and getting caught in the middle of something. So,
And there were tons of police officers and
yeah.
cars outside of our building, but as of now, they've slowly moved away. I believe there's only like 2 or 3 still out there right now.
Has your building been secured?
I'm not positive, but seeing as there's like probably 2 or 3 or 4 cop cars left outside, I'm saying that they probably sweeped it and moved on to the next one.
Have you been in contact with anybody else who's got a different vantage point than yours, and perhaps they can see if there's a bigger police presence somewhere at the front doors of your dorm, back doors of your dorm?
Not yet. We haven't talked to anybody yet, but at the front of our dorm, the police have definitely moved to a different area because there's not as much out there.
And then did you say that, pardon me if I misheard you, that the shooter was running through the dining hall and left the building? Or do you know, what was the status after the report was that he was in the dining hall?
We're not really sure. Just like I said, we were sitting in this living room here and like saying like 30, 40 kids right out of the building, all yelling, you know, he's in the dining hall, he's in that dining hall. So obviously right after that, we immediately went to go hide in the bathroom. So we haven't really heard anything else on that so far.
And that's the bathroom in the room where you're located, correct? You didn't make a second
the bathroom in our
change
dorm room, yeah.
Yeah, we did not
location.
believe her.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you've been in touch with your parents. Can you tell me your ages?
I'm 18 years
Yeah,
old.
we're all 18.
Yeah.
You're all 18, you're all freshmen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bet you weren't expecting this in your freshman year, were you?
No, this is real. Yeah, not something I don't think anyone would have expected, especially at this big of a magnitude. It's crazy just to even think about.
Kids, I'm so sorry this is happening to you, but I'm just so glad that you're safe and that you're together. I do want to just mention to our viewers, while I've got you up on the screen as well, that I had mentioned there was a tweet I was going to read earlier. I'm not reading it now. It's been deleted, and so I'm really glad that I didn't. We do know the Michigan State University Police are going to give a press conference, and that's coming up in about 29 minutes. So that's a good thing, kids. You'll be able to listen in on that and get a little bit more information. No other blasts, though, from the school to let you know what to do or to stay where you are. I mean, 2 hours is a long time to stay where you are without getting an update.
They did send another email at 10:08 p.m. Eastern, and they just said the same thing, that there's an active shooter on campus, follow the run, hide, fight guidelines, secure in place, turn cell phones to silent, remain quiet, and then they give a description of one of the shooters.
And tell me what the description says.
So what the description they gave was a short male with I think they said on the police scanner with a blue mask and possibly black. That's all they said.
Blue or black mask. We're taking some of the live pictures down for security right now. And so some of these pictures that we're showing on the screen, it's pretty spectacular, actually. That's a really high vantage point. I'm guessing, guys, can you tell me if that looks like it might be from one of the dorms? Do you have dorms that are that high?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably one of the apartments on Grand River.
Okay. But you can see the helicopter spotlights. I think as they swing to the left, you can see that the helicopters, I'm assuming that's one of the helicopter spotlights as they, there we go. Okay, here's something from inside one of the police cars that they, actually, I don't think that's a police car. I think that just might be someone who's at the scene and maybe shelter.
Guys, you're not helping me live up to my reputation of being a tragedy pimp. I gotta be a tragedy pimp here.
University right now, 3 potential shooting scenes, all traversing across campus, starting at one area called Berkeley Hall, and then moving about a mile away to IM East, which is Intramural East. It's a gymnasium where there were a number of students apparently who were told to run, and they did. The shooter then apparently moved to a close location, Hubbard Hall, which isn't far from the students I'm speaking to right now. I'm not disclosing their location. I prefer not to do that until we know that there's that the situation is safe. The three students I'm speaking with on the screen right now are Joey Brico, Declan Jackman, and Katie Nuttall. And Declan has a twin brother at another location. He's been in contact with his twin brother, and they are all safe. They are sheltering in place. Their lights are off. Declan, is your brother's lights off? Did you just send him a text to let him know to do the same in case he didn't have the same thoughts that you three did?
Yeah, he was closer to where the shooting started, so he had already been barricaded in a room with the lights off, obviously.
And he's in his room. Did you say?
There we go. East Coast Beauty starts off. Actually, K-Rock started earlier, but East Coast Beauty started off my my tragedy pimping. Woo woo.
You a boss and I conclude that. Super chat. Who was that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
I am a Tracy pimp. I didn't know that, but all right, I'll go with it. Tracy, I'm your pimp. I knew what you meant. I didn't even catch that until you said it, and I looked again. Woo! Come on, we gotta make me a tragedy pimp. Gotta live up to my reputation.
Photo. And so this was a genuine tweet that was sent out. At least 2 bodies seen there on the sidewalk. You know what I can't see that clearly. So I'm going to ask my control room to let me know if they have a better view, if those are just empty stretchers or are those body bags. It's hard for me to see with my monitor. It does, I can't confirm it, but it does look like bodies on.
Come on, they're not going to leave fucking bodies in the middle of the road. Hello? While the cops are just standing there. Come on now.
You know, this has been going on for 2 hours, and at first we were told there were a potential for 14 casualties here, and no one was clear as to whether it was 14 dead or 14 injured. But we only have one report locally from local media saying that there was one confirmed.
See, Georgia says that I am a tragedy pimp.
Super chat. Who was that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
Thank you, Crystal. Georgia, I am the biggest tragedy pimp ever. So in order for you to stay in this room, you need to pay me. And if you don't pay me, I guess you got to go. All right. Well, you don't get to talk to me like that because you don't pay me. So bye-bye. Have a good day. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Oh, wait, too late. It gave you the big boom. Next time, Georgia, you want to talk to me, you want to disrespect me, bitch, you'll pay me. See ya. Have a good day.
Are on the ground. Let's wrap our arms around the Spartan community tonight. We'll keep everyone updated as we learn more. That's from Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. I want to bring in Jim Maxwell. He is a retired FBI agent, but he's an instructor as well at Buckley Peterson Global.
Thank you, Debbie. That Georgia peach. Yeah, I don't know. They said they're having a conference. So I would assume that that maybe they got him. Tragedy pimping ain't easy. It's sure not. Tragedy pimp is tough.
And I suppose, that's where we are today. The training is working, and damn it that we have to do the training.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a growing trend we've seen in the last 10, 15 years. It's happened at schools, it's happened at hospitals, it's happened at churches. And it's something we all have to be situationally aware when we go out in public these days. And
Can I ask you about that situational stuff? Jim, I only interrupt because I don't know what the situation is. If there's a shooter that's still on the loose and there's this massive campus, there's police presence everywhere. It kind of looks like you might be safe if the police are all out there, but these kids have no additional information. They got the same tweet twice.
I'm sorry, but there's no way that they're going. Thank you. It's hard being a pimp these days, let me tell you. I find it hard to believe they would leave 2 bodies on stretchers in the middle of the street with like 50 cops standing there. No way, no how. Never gonna happen. There is nothing in the world that would make me believe they just left 2 dead bodies in a stretcher in the middle of the road. No.
Consideration, you have to consider what's the best cover under these circumstances. But these students have done the right thing because the officers are on scene, they're on campus, they're searching for this guy, and they don't want to be in the way of police officers searching under these circumstances.
Yeah, I wanted to just, you know, bring my viewers in here. I hope you guys understand. While it's really important to know the details of what the name of the dormitory is, where my guests, my 3 18-year-old freshman guests are holed up, I don't want to do that. I always think if we're in an active situation and the shooter's out there somewhere, I don't want the shooter to know where they are. But at the same time, there's news that they made. They said that police officers swept their dorm, Jim, and said that there were 30 to 40 kids that were screaming, he's in the dining hall, he's in the dining hall, and then said that there were fireworks and I think some other accoutrement that were found in the bathroom. That's a hell of a detail.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. If you go back and you look at the Columbine, the students at Columbine responsible for that shooting, they set primitive explosive devices and fireworks just to hamper the response of the police officers on scene. So that report doesn't surprise me at all, but you're going to have to give the police a chance to contain this situation and evaluate it. And hopefully within the hour, they'll have some concrete answers as to where these individuals are and the circumstances of these shootings.
So I want to just do a quick update of a few things, Jim, that again, some viewers are just coming online as they hear about this. That video that you're seeing, it appears they look like 2 stretchers, maybe with bodies on them. But Jim, can you tell me, with your background in the FBI, would they have left 2 bodies on stretchers like that? Or does that look like they're prepared to, you know, to get casualties?
I would lean towards preparing, having resources standing by.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Were already deceased. They'd have to preserve that crime scene, and they wouldn't be moving bodies. If the people were still alive, yeah, there would be a Herculean effort to try to save those lives and move them as quickly as possible. But in a usual case where the victims are...
All right, I'm sorry, but why is this even in question? You would have to be a fucking idiot to sit there and think that they're just going to leave dead bodies on stretchers in the middle of the sidewalk with 50 cops standing near there, but nobody around them. Like, Banfield, you can't be that fucking stupid. I can't even believe this is even like, that she even asked this guy this. Whoa. Like, you can't be this dumb. Maybe you're just not thinking. I don't know, but you just can't be that dumb. That's like logic 101. I expect like Dolly's audience to be like wondering, but not you, Banfield. Sorry. Or Betty's audience. They would say, oh yeah, that's bodies. We know it is. That's what I expect from them, not from you, Ashley.
No. 3 locations so far. And here's the good thing, Jim, and I hope you can back me up on this. The last time we heard of a 3rd location where shots were fired was, I think, about not quite an hour ago, maybe 50 minutes ago, but nothing since. And that might be good news.
Yes, it could be one of 2 things, that this individual successfully fled the area, or he expired on scene by taking his own life, which is usually the case in these matters.
Or maybe he didn't take his own life. Maybe it was taken for him and we just haven't been updated.
Police officers addressed it, yes. And that is another logical conclusion.
Jim, when you're doing your instruction at Buckley Peterson Global on the active shooter training, do the police tell us instantly when the shooter's down?
No. No, it has to go through channels. It'll eventually filter out to the people on scene. There are systems in place, and I'm sure Michigan State University has a very robust program where they can notify students when it's possible to notify them on their own phones. Most major universities have those systems in place, You just have to wait for a release of that information from the police department. And the police department is not going to release anything until they know the scene is secure. And once they know the scene is secure, they can.
I want to do something here. I want to do something here if I can, Jim. I want to just do an on-screen introduction between you in the middle screen and Joey, Declan, and Katie, who are huddled in the dorm room not far from where one of those active locations was, where the 30 to 40 kids ran through the dorm and said that, you know, the shooter's in the dining hall. We're back to, I think we're back to some live pictures now. I just want to listen in if I can for a bit. Let's listen to the ambient noise and just see if we can pick up anything. I can hear those helicopters the kids were talking about.
Yeah, I believe that's from our dorm room. It's right outside right now.
Jason, I know you want to be a mod. I don't need any mods at the moment. I have more than enough mods for the amount of people I have.
Guys, I'm going to wait on that for 1 second just because I want you to do some play-by-play for me. They're literally shining the light in each of these windows. Tell me what you think. I mean, this just sounds like needle in a haystack kind of search.
This is a very meticulous, time-consuming search. Every time you step around a corner, you may encounter an armed individual. So it has to be slow and methodical. When my years on the SWAT team, when we did searches, it took a long time to successfully clear a building. Now we're talking about 3 buildings and a large campus area. You need a lot of manpower, and it has to be done in an orderly, timely manner, and it has to be done safely. You just can't rush in unless you know the individual's there. But if you're searching for a hidden individual, you really have to be methodical and very deliberate in this process.
So that gives me I'm going to ask a question for the kids of you, sure. Jim. I just told you they're sequestered in their dorm. They're hidden. They've got their lights off. Their door is locked. Yeah. What happens if someone knocks on the door and says police? What are the kids supposed to do? Are they supposed to believe that?
No. They are to remain in place until they get a communication from the school that there's an all clear. All right. And I have to compliment these young students. They're doing something that can't be taught in a classroom. They kept their heads and made logical decisions and did the prudent thing by locking in place and finding shelter. We found that when we study these things, that the people who keep their heads in these stressful situations in an emerging violent event are the people who survive these events. So my hat's off to all 3 of you for doing the right thing for your own personal safety.
That's the first thing I noticed about you guys. Honestly, Joey, Declan, and Katie, I could not believe how calm you were. It's why I realized right away, I think you've had this training all through your generation, all through your life. When you said elementary school, it just broke my heart. But it started in elementary, didn't it, kids?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so I wanted to let you guys know, if you didn't hear already, so Joey Preco, Declan Jackman, and Katie Nuttall. Above you is Jim Maxwell. He's retired FBI, but he also trains in active.
So if they're doing a press conference at 11, I'm going to assume that they either got the guys or they're going to let them out of their dorm rooms. Because why else would they hold a press conference at 11? You know what I mean? They don't hold press conferences unless it's over or they have something to update. So I'm going to naturally assume that it's either over or they got the guy. Maybe.
Apparently people thought the other way. So, I'm not really sure what else to ask, though.
No, what you're doing is exactly the right thing. You're making space between you and the bad guy, and you are denying him access by going through an area that he normally would not have access to. The only thing I would add that if you hear gunfire, stay in a place, get into an interior room, stay away from the windows, keep the lights off, Don't silhouette yourself in a window, and stay behind an area that will give you some cover from gunfire if that was necessary. But
Gotcha. And
right
then,
now, I think you guys are doing all the right things.
what else? I mean, we were going to try to barricade our door just for a little more safety, but I don't know what exactly you'd use in a dorm room. Maybe a fridge or.
Well, I know, yeah, maybe a fridge. I know in my day, dorm rooms, the furniture was nailed to the floor. You couldn't move it. But if you can move a piece of furniture to block the door, go ahead and do that. But I would stand by until you heard from your university or campus security that you had an all clear. I would stay in place.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna break the conversation only for a moment to ask one of the three of you. You can choose which one to go do that now while we're talking. I don't want you to discuss it before you've done it. So maybe just get whatever movable furniture you can and put that up against the door, and then come back and talk to us. And one other question I'm going to ask you, Jim.
Sure.
When I was covering the war in Afghanistan, whenever things got kind of hairy, we put our mattresses against the windows because, of course, if anything happens, the flying glass, it can be sometimes the most damaging. Is that something you think these kids should do, or do you think they should be able to at least have a view to their environment at all? And I know what you're saying. Don't put a profile in there.
If you're hearing gunfire, do not go to the windows. Stay low. I don't think it'd be necessary to put a mattress up against the window, and a mattress would give you a limited protection from a gunfire, especially a high-powered rifle. But doing what they're doing.
See, I was kind of wondering the same thing. Faraz, we don't know how old this video is. They could be running a video from 2 hours ago. Like, I don't think this is a live feed because it's just showing the same thing over and over. So that tells me that this is an old feed. I just don't know from when. Laura doesn't need much, takes trash out faster than any of us.
Making certain calls to, obviously parents were first, that was done. But is there anything else they should be doing now other than just being very, very, very patient?
Well, you're absolutely right. The other thing I would do, if there's a campus radio station, I would try to monitor the campus radio station to see if they're putting any information out. Most large campuses to have their own radio station. I would try that if you have access to a radio, or also discussions with other students. If you have a phone and you can get some information from another student, that's not a bad way to go either. But I would wait until you heard from campus security through the existing system on campus that you have an all clear. Because you still have a very fluid situation, and the police have not declared this a safe scene yet. So you're going to have to be patient and ride it out.
And I know that's frustrating, guys, because you've already been at this for 2.5 hours without a lot of updates. So still, I'm just going to check on that. Has there been any update? Have you had a blast, another blast from the MSU alerts, the Michigan State University alerts?
I don't think so. Yeah. So most of the information, like pretty much I'd say all the information we've got is from all of our friends who are obviously all spread out around campus at all these different
recent spottings were. So
I may have some new information. I'm my correspondent, Brian Enton, he's our senior national correspondent at News Nation. He's going to jump on the broadcast right now. I think he may have some new video, maybe some new reporting. Brian, can you hear me? Are you close by?
Yeah, I hear you, Ashley. Yeah, I heard them just say they've been listening to the police scanner. We've also been listening to the scanner, which is routine. We do that in situations like this. Of course, we don't report all the information because it's unconfirmed and it's very, very chaotic. But I can tell you just from listening that it's still active.
Look how
They're still clearing
professional he
buildings.
looks.
There's a lot going on the campus. So it's good that they are sheltering in place because it does not seem like this is resolved at this point. The news conference is going to be in about 7 minutes. It's interesting though. It's been now more than almost 2.5 hours since this began, and we haven't gotten really a significant update from the police in quite some time. But we're getting a lot of video from social media, really frightening stuff of what's going on. People evacuating their dorms. I want to show you one piece of video, and we can talk about it on the other side, Ashley.
Okay.
Oh my God. Acres Dining Hall. Shit, dude. Holy something. Fuck, dude. Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
You want to get something in front of the door? Bro, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Acres Dining Hall. Shit, dude. Holy something. Fuck, dude. Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
You want to get something in front of the door? Bro, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
obviously,
definitely hits
Brian,
home. Yeah.
I just wanted to apologize for the salty language. This is breaking news, and that was real. Those kids are really in, crisis, and they're scared, they're terrified. So we're giving you the real raw image, and I apologize again for the language. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just going to say, you can hear in the moment just how raw everything is. We just learned from Michigan State University, all campus activities have now been canceled, Ashley, for the next 48 hours, all classes, athletic-related activities. It appears that video there may have come from near looking here.
Is it Hubbard? Hubbard Hall?
I think it might be Berkey. I think it might be Berkey Hall where it started.
Okay.
And then we got the reports of more shots at IM East, which, as you reported, is the gymnasium, and then at Hubbard. But it appears that may have actually been from Berkey Hall, where all of this began around 8:30 p.m.
Okay, and the very jiggly camera view that you're seeing right now is a live picture. And we're just bringing the feeds into you and giving them to you. So if you see a reporter step in front, it's because sometimes it's an affiliate and they're getting ready to do there's one right there, getting ready to do live reporting. So we're just bringing you as many angles and shots. And obviously these are some of the kids. I want to listen in. Can we crank the volume, please?
Okay, I'm ready to go.
It's hard to hear anything directional. My apologies. And any minute, that local reporter is probably going to need that camera back from us as we. And that clearly does look like they have sequestered a large group of people.
Yeah, it's resting for now.
You're hearing just some of the media talking, so it's not going to give you insight as to what the mood is. And sadly, that's not our correspondent, so I can't ask that correspondent to go and talk to some of those students to see what the circumstance is for them. Do you guys know where this might be? It's a little hard to assess exact, but have you seen collections of students out on the street? Are you able to see a vantage point where there's this large gathering of people outside?
I know when people ran outside of our dorm, they're not outside there now, so they must have taken them down probably Shaw, which is the road that we're off of right now.
So what we're seeing on camera is nowhere near where you are right now, because it looks pretty safe. They seem to be all quite calm. There's not a massive police presence guarding them. Clearly there's police vehicles around them. You can see the blinking lights, but they look like it's pretty calm where they are.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably towards Grand River, probably over towards where the shooting started. At least that's where it looks like it is.
Okay. And then Brian Enton, just so I can introduce you live on the air, that's Joey and Declan and Katie below you there. We're not naming the dorm that they're in right now, but they're sequestered after the alert to, secure in place immediately. They've turned their lights off. They've barricaded their door. In their dorm hall, Brian, there were 30 to 40 kids who ran through the hall saying he's in the dining hall. And then can I ask you, Joey or Declan or Katie, you said something about fireworks and something else might have been in a bathroom. Can you repeat what that detail was a while back?
Yeah, so someone downstairs, or I got a text from someone that they heard over the police scanner that in one of the bathrooms on the first floor of my dining hall, it wasn't a gun, or it could have been a gun, but it was like remains of a firework and like gunpowder on the ground in that bathroom.
It was the remains of a firework, some fireworks, and what else?
And like they just said there was some gunpowder on the ground and it looked like it was a firework.
See, I don't understand though. Why are they locked in their dorm and other kids are standing all outside? That's what I don't get.
That was you heard that from the police scanner? They heard it from the police scanner?
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. Brian Enton, just want to ask you if you've heard any updates on that 11 o'clock police news conference. Is there any sort of update on that? Are they going to have that ready to go?
Yeah, the latest is that it's going to be ready to go at 11 o'clock Eastern, so should be starting very soon. I want to comment on what they said, though, because I've also been listening to the police scanner, and there's all these scanner apps now, so you can listen to these scanners from anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the country. You have to be careful, though, and you probably know this, Ashley. For me, from my local news days, listening to scanners all the time, there's a lot of bad information that comes out on the scanner because it's all happening in real time, and police are communicating in real time. It's not fact-based completely. It's, what they think is happening, where they think someone might be. So I think we have to be careful at this point in terms of what we're hearing, because it's been very, very chaotic. It seems like for quite a while they didn't know exactly what was going on. I do want to ask them, if you don't mind, something I was wondering, though, Ashley, because something I thought was interesting, where this started, Berkey Hall, if you guys can explain to us, that's quite a ways away from IM East, the gymnasium. I think it's...
No, I'm definitely going to put it on Coffee, but I have a feeling it should be on the... I'm sure they're going to play it. Right? Jason, I also have video conference call with all of my mods before they're mods. So I know that they're real people. A lot of people don't do that, but I do. So you'd also be having to have a video conference with me in order to even think about getting a wrench. Just so you know.
You're listening to this police scanner and you're hearing other shots here, but then you hear again, 2 minutes later, there's more shots a quarter of a mile away. So it wasn't really making sense that there was only one guy, that he was able to run to all these different dorms and all these dining halls, and obviously the intramural buildings that quick in that short amount of time.
Yeah, and we're not 100% sure, but we were hearing a lot of different descriptions of different people or different gunmen. So there could be multiple.
So, you know what? I want to ask you about that, Joey, because the description that came out from the police, and that's the only one we've had so far, was a possible black male, short in stature, wearing a blue or black mask. The three people that you saw, all dressed in black, did any of them sort of fit that description?
I don't believe so. That's why we weren't 100% sure. But we also did hear about someone running down the street with a longer gun, more of an AR gun, and the other one was described to have a handgun.
Where did you hear that?
The police scanner. So again, it could not be 100%.
So on the police scanner, you heard, or your friend heard, that there were possibly two different people running down the street, one with a long gun, one with a short gun?
Yeah, I was listening to it, and that's what they were saying.
You heard that yourself on the scanner?
Yep.
And yet still nothing from the university. Hey, Brian, I'm just seeing that we're 2 minutes past countdown for this news conference. Have they updated?
No, no
have
update.
They updated
I keep
when they're gonna hold it?
checking. No, last we heard was going to be right at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm just trying to see if there's any updates.
Here we go.
That
You know what?
in.
Let's cut in and listen.
All right, here we
go.
It
is.
Report that there has been an incident on the campus of Michigan State University. There has been shots fired and a shooting in multiple locations near campus. Please understand that the information that we're sharing right now is preliminary. Our priority right now is the safety of our students and our campus. The information that we're sharing may change, but we are going to be as transparent as we can and share as much information as we can. But that information may change as it's preliminary. This incident started this evening around 8:18 p.m. at Berkey Hall on campus. We received multiple 911 calls of a shooting inside Berkey Hall. Numerous officers responded. We were quickly on scene within minutes, and there we did locate several victims of a shooting. The incident did move to a building in close proximity, the Michigan State University Union building, where there was another report of a shooting immediately following the first incident. Police and emergency responders acted quickly. We tended to the victims at both of those scenes, and there was an overwhelming law enforcement response to campus to help with this situation. I can confirm that there were at least 5 victims. All 5 victims were transported to the hospital. Some of those victims do have life-threatening injuries. The suspect in this incident, and we believe there to be one suspect, was last seen leaving the MSU Union on foot out of the north side of that building. We are just receiving surveillance footage of that suspect that we will be releasing shortly. Initial information is that the suspect is a black male, shorter in stature, wearing red shoes, a jean jacket, and a ball cap. And we will follow up with additional descriptors of that suspect. Community members on and off campus should remain sheltered in place. We immediately launched our emergency notification system and advised the entire MSU campus to shelter in place as this suspect is still outstanding. For people on campus, please do not come to campus. I can't say that enough. For parents, we understand. I can only imagine the emotion that's involved right now. It's going to help us, and it's going to help our response, and it's going to help us identify the shooter, the less people that are on campus at this point. Please do not come to campus. We are doing everything we can to ensure the safety of our campus and all of our students. We currently have hundreds of police officers and law enforcement officials, state, local, and federal, on campus working in a coordinated effort to ensure the safety of campus and identify and apprehend the suspect. All campus activities will be canceled for the next 48 hours, including sporting events, classes, and all campus-related activities. Please follow our Twitter page for updates. We are sharing live updates at that location. I can't stress this enough. You're probably hearing a lot of information and misinformation right now from social media, the scanner, calls that we're receiving that are not accurate. We strongly encourage you to follow the accurate information source, and we will continue to provide as many updates and accurate updates as we can. There has been false reports of additional shootings. There has been false reports of the suspect seen in numerous different locations. Those reports are not accurate. Please follow us for accurate information. As I said, we're very early on in this investigation. It remains ongoing, and we are going to continue to meet back here and provide updates on the hour. We wanted to provide as much accurate information as possible right now, and we will continue to do that moving forward. As I said, information is very preliminary at this point, and we are working very hard to gather that information, to accurately get it out to our community, to students, to parents, and to everybody who needs that information. Please know that the safety and security of this campus and our students is our absolute priority at this point. We will meet back here at midnight for an additional update. We will push out some information, including a photograph of the suspect that we just obtained immediately following this briefing. Thank you, and we'll see you back here in an hour.
Okay, so that is Interim Deputy Chief Chris Rosman of the Michigan State University Police. I could hear it in his voice. He's rattled, understandably. I think there's a huge update here. And kids, I know you're listening, so this is great for you as well to hear. It does not appear that there has been a fatality.
Tiffany, after 3 years, I finally got Tropical Gal to be done with me, only to find your stupid fucking ex-friend it doesn't shut up. Make that make sense for me. 3 years. She's finally done. And what happens? This fucking piece of shit comes along and starts in for no reason at all. Like, dude, go take a seat. I'm sorry you got a little penis, but that's not my fault. Unbelievable. So, yeah. All right. So this is like, it seems like a repeat. They're not really going to talk about much more until the next hour, unless there's breaking news. But if there's breaking news, I'm sure you guys will let me know. You don't remember Tropical Gal? You were there when we had the blowout. The day that you and I had that blowout and Ninny was mad at me because I didn't get a hold of her, and then she went on your panel with Ninny. That was like mine and Ninny's fight. Was who me and Tropical Gal, she ran to you and Ninny. Yeah. After 3 years, we finally made peace. Only to have the fucking little penis man come at me like daily. I don't even get it. Don't even get it. Nobody talks about him. Nobody says a word. I heard 2 days in a row he's coming after me. Like, dude, again, I'm sorry you have a little penis. It's time for you to go by. Go sit down. Go play in the playground with the little boys. And I understand that you're mad that I don't like you and your narcissism can't handle that. But I'm sorry. Sometimes guys just have little penises. You just have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Yes, Ballet Babe. I forgot she had another name. But we made peace. It's over. It's over. 3 years. It's over. Phew. So, yeah. But, fucking crazy. These little penis motherfuckers. So, all right, so I'm moving on to my next topic, which is what I originally was going live about. So let me start by stating I don't hold my thoughts against the creators. I'm not bashing the creators that put this out. But all I had to do is see the title. And you guys knew I was going to throw in my opinions. It was 3 days ago and 117,000 people have seen it already. So I'm going to take a pretty wild guess that a lot of you guys probably saw it already. But I haven't seen it. And I only heard the title and listened to about 10 minutes of it. But I was kind of dumbfounded. Hold on. Yeah, come on, guys. I need to tragedy pimp here. All right, let me pull it up. So if there's any breaking news, guys, just let me know. I'll keep it open just in case. Hold on.
Thanks.
All right. So let me also state that when I started this live, this video had 117,000. They now have 118,000. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. All right, 118,000 people have watched this video. Now, the title of the video is what caught my eye. All right. The title of the video is Source Close to Dylan Leaks Out New Info with Audio. Really? Okay. Let's see if that's the case. You want to talk about tragedy pimping? Let's see if that's the case.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drunk Turkey Show. I'm your host, Daniel. And today we're going to be talking about some new information, some new leaked information that was brought to News Nation, a source close to them, talking about the night of the incident, November 13th, in the wee hour mornings, the wee hours.
Okay, before I play this, I want to make a statement because even now I'm getting annoyed. Jason, the talk about the wrench is done with. It's over with. Drop it. If you do not drop it, I personally will time you out. It is disruptive. It is annoying. And it's not fair to all the viewers in chat. So I'm going to ask you one last time to drop the talk about the wrench. You're not getting one, so move on already. Okay? Thank you. And if I see it again, mods, time it out. It's not fair to everybody else. So there's that.
In the morning, where allegedly Brian Kohberger entered a house on King Road Ranch and viciously took the lives of 4 beautiful young people. And so before we get into it, I just want to remind everybody to please hit that like and subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Tonight we'll be going live. Apparently there was a secret court proceeding where there might be a new affidavit coming out. We'll be going over all those details later on tonight.
Okay, can someone tell me what secret court thing there was? Was there like a secret court hearing that only Lana knows about? Or was there an actual court hearing? Because I'd like to know if there was like an actual court hearing or if it was just a joke. And if it was just Lana spreading lies. So if anyone, because I haven't followed the case in 2 weeks. So if anyone could tell me if that was actually legit, it wasn't too much of a secret if you know about it. That wouldn't make it a secret. So yeah, if somebody knows if that actually happened or if it's just a bunch of more nonsense, let me know.
If it ends up coming out. That was also another news headline that we're going to be talking about regardless tonight. So make sure you ring that notification bell. Don't miss our lives. This type of content usually gets demonetized, and so the reach doesn't get there. So help the algorithm by hitting the like button. So back to the content. Source close to, I guess they said the inner circle of Dylan Mortensen reported to News Nation, or News Nation reported that some chilling new details that during the night, Dylan apparently opened the door and yelled out to the noise that was being.
Okay, now mind you, this was 3 days ago. I do not even comprehend how News Nation would have reported that that's new info, that she opened the door. What am I missing here? Now, again, I haven't seen it in 2 weeks. I haven't watched Banfield. I haven't covered the case. I haven't watched anything. So if I'm wrong about something, please let me know, because I don't want to be wrong. So if I am wrong, just let me know.
Created. She appeared to have thought that it was friends, and there was just a bunch of horseplay going on, and told them to be quiet. Right now, I've heard this before. A viewer had brought this up to my attention, sent me audio and a video of somebody claiming to be in Dylan's inner circle, and this is basically that source's story. Now, we'll go through it. We'll listen to what they have to say as far as this source goes, but I do want everybody to understand that I have no idea if this guy is true or not. Everything is speculation. I'm only bringing this out. Now, I was aware of this for a few weeks now. I'm only bringing this out now because a source from News Nation that I'm sure that they were able to verify and vet has some similar accounts.
Okay, Drunk Turkey, Daniel, let me let you in on a little secret. You have not been around these communities very long, so you may not know this, so I'm letting you in on a little secret. Banfield does not vet anybody. If you want to go on there, you call up, or she contacts you because of something she found on Facebook or in social media. She vets nobody. Brian Etten may vet somebody, I don't know, but Banfield definitely is a sensationalism show. She does not vet anybody. So please do not use Ashley as a guideline, because you'll be going down a bad path. So that's just my advice, and you can take it or leave it, but yeah.
Let's do what this person who put this video on YouTube is claiming. And so without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I want to add a couple of things so before we move forward. News Nation also had a source who stated that Ethan was attacked in the hallway, and then Xana's injuries were very severe to her fingers and things of that nature. This account doesn't account for the type of screaming noise you would consider or would think you would hear, but let's get into the content.
Okay, so before we dive into what I'm referring to about the Fed screwing or attempting.
Now, real quick, back again. I did speed up the audio because it was painfully slow. I think it was actually even slower than I think it was slowed down. I sped it up to almost 1.5%, and it ends up sounding pretty normal to me. But if it sounds fast to you guys, that's probably why. It's because I sped it up. I just wanted to put that out there real quick.
To screw Dylan and give you a brief background as to who I am. So my girlfriend is in Dylan's inner circle. And by inner circle, I mean inner circle. Like they've hung out almost every day since the incident occurred. And I've seen her a plethora of times as well. So you're going to notice I'm not going to use words like allegedly, supposedly, because all of this is actual firsthand factual information. Where should I start?
By the way, that is not them talking. That is this alleged guy talking who sounds drunk in itself. And yeah, I'm not understanding this shit at all. Because let's not forget, all right, this is what bothered me. Look at the title of the video. Source close to Dylan leaks out new info with audio. That's a tragedy pimp title. 150%. This kind of shit is what ruins true crime. Just saying.
Clear things up. First of all, there's a lot of misconception about Dylan suffering from PTSD or trauma or any of that. None of that is accurate. In fact, when we try to console Dylan after the incident, she's the one that was laughing at me and my girlfriend and I, talking about we're so weird, and we tried to give her a hug and stuff. So she's still the same old Dylan. She's had a rough life growing up. She's been through a lot. She doesn't have PTSD and didn't suffer any trauma. The incident that night, and what I'm referring to with the feds actually put a lot of words into her mouth that she didn't say herself first. So there was a lot of leading statements that they were insinuating to her, and she was really scared the first few days, obviously, after the incident occurred. So, like, the reason none of it makes sense in the affidavit is because it didn't really happen that way.
See, Keister and I thought the same thing because the voice sounds like Daniel. I know it's not, but that's who it sounds like. It sounds like Daniel. Because the first time I listened to the beginning of this already, and I was like, is this Daniel? Like, you can't even tell the difference. But then after a while, you do hear the difference. But yeah, I think that's why it sounds familiar.
So she never stood there shocked when she saw the individual. She was just standing in her doorway, like anybody who opens the door. It was just, she opened the door and yelled at Ethan and Xana, and who she thought was their friend. She yelled at them to be quiet. That's what was going on with that situation. And she just went back into the room. She locked the door like usual and, went to sleep. Everything was quiet after she yelled at them. So she didn't think anything of it. For everyone who's creating these random stories about her being shot.
So, according to him, and according to this story, Dylan yelled at them and then turned around and closed the door and locked it and went to sleep, didn't think anything of it. According to that part, it doesn't specify whether or not he came in contact visually, person to person there. Maybe he's mistaken because he talks about, the FBI coming with pictures and things of that nature. But I did want to bring that out right away. Is he says she yelled at him, turned around, locked the door. Now, again, I want to reference this. I don't know.
Okay, and let me also state, it's not rocket science to think, and it's not earth-shattering or mind-blowing that she thought it was she thought it was them upstairs, so she yelled for them to shut up. That's not earth-shattering. It's not breaking news. It's what I would expect if they were being too loud. Plain and simple. So I'm sorry, but I just don't think this is earth-shattering.
Who this person is, it is. As far as the voice goes, I don't know how verified or how close he is to, how if it's real or not. However,
I don't know if it's real or not. Then why are you putting in a title, source close to Dylan leaks out new info with audio? That's bullshit, dude. It's shit like this that fucking you might as well hook up with Bullhorn Betty, because that's the kind of shit she does. And it's destroyed the community. Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Some of the things that he was saying a few weeks ago, almost a month ago, are coming out as far as, at least from what News Nation is reporting. And so I just wanted to reference that one more time.
They're traumatized. She didn't realize anything was going on. And it might sound crazy,
like, it's really hard to determine when one starts and the other one stops. So I'll let you guys know now. The other guy's talking again, not Daniel.
I'm dumb, but she really had no clue anything was going on. They're being a little loud, so she yelled at them to be quiet. And that's it. She locked her door and she just went back to her room. And she didn't want to be nosy or anything. So, she was kind of new to that house, so she didn't want to be nosy and, get all up in their business, especially at, in the middle of the night or early morning. So it's as simple as that. Everyone trying to blow that whole situation into something that's not. So yeah, that's that. And she didn't actually get a real good look uh, at Brian. You know, at the time, she assumed it was one of Xana and Ethan's friend who was just getting ready to leave, who was walking out. She didn't get that good of a look. The feds were really aggressive with Dylan the first few days, which is why she hired the attorney to begin with, because of the treatment of her during the interview, more like an interrogation, to be honest. So that's why she got in the.
Okay, reference to all parents out there. If your child is getting interrogated by the police or questioned by the police, you always get an attorney. Always. Doesn't even matter why they're questioning your kid. If your kid is completely innocent, you get an attorney. So don't let anyone tell you differently. Don't let a cop tell you differently. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Your kid, no matter what age, obviously if they're, you know, a full adult, like in their 40s, but even then, you get your kid an attorney. They're always your kid. Get them an attorney.
Attorney, because the way they were talking to her, and you know, they didn't really understand or believe why she's the only one alive when you kind of skip rooms to get to the other two rooms. So she didn't really like the feel of how the interrogators or the feds were talking to her. And within like a few days after the incident, they approached her with pictures of Brian. I was like, "Is this the guy? Do you think this is the guy? This is definitely him, right?" And
So according to him, after a few days, now, is that a few days after the interrogation portion of what he was talking about? You know, at first few days where, just strictly, hounding her, talking to her about, why did they skip her room? You know, why was she alive? She yelled out. I mean, clearly, if she yelled out and in the manner that she did, the whole thing about, did Brian Kohberger maybe perhaps not see her doesn't play into this. Now, perhaps, maybe he's thinking, he's in the commission of this crime. He hears somebody yell out. He's thinking that maybe perhaps they're calling the police. And so he needs to get out of there ASAP. Sees her, knows that she had yelled, probably just leaves, right? Just because police are on their way. This is rural Idaho. This isn't a big area. This is a small area. So you're probably figuring out that the police are going to get there within a matter of minutes, if not less than that. The police department wasn't very far from the house. It was just a few blocks away, probably about maybe 8 to 10 blocks. And so, in my opinion, I mean, we'll put it this way: in the probable cause affidavit, at 3:26 a.m., he's seen at the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive. That's beyond the police department, right? That's behind it. That's also in a neighborhood where he had to go through some, stop signs and things of that nature. It was a little bit further distance, and it took him all but 3 minutes to get from that area to the 1122 King Road residence. A police officer not having to follow, with lights and sirens, not having to maybe completely follow the rules of the road and lights and stop signs, things of that nature, probably could get there in about 2.5 to 2 minutes. And so, and that's not including if anybody or there isn't an officer that's nearby on patrol. And so once he heard somebody scream, it may have been, all right, it's up, time's up. And that may have been also why he may have left the knife sheath. He hears somebody, forgets, he's like, oh crap, there's somebody awake. Somebody heard me. Somebody's calling the police, time to get out of here. Forgets the knife sheath altogether. And so doesn't realize it until after he's left. We'll continue. I'll back it up a little bit.
Brian, I was like, "Is this the guy? Do you think this is the guy? This is definitely him, right?" And they were almost leading her to believe this has to be the person.
Sorry about that. So either way, we'll go back a little bit. He's saying that Dylan, they gave her pictures of him and pressed her for the identification of Brian Kohberger. Now, he stated a few days From all indications, the information wasn't given over to WSU to locate Bryan Kohberger's car until late November. That's more than a few days. Even if, let's just say, we'll give the benefit of the doubt that they pressed her for about 5 days and then gave her an additional week, 7 days. That's still not enough time for the time that WSU went out there and located Bryan Kohberger's vehicle and sent over his picture to Officer Payne, who then saw the eyebrows and thought that these two people could be the same person. And so this is well before that. I wonder what else they had that pointed the arrow at Bryan Kohberger, if this is all true, of course. We'll continue to listen.
Brian, I was like, is this the guy? Do you think this is the guy? This is definitely him, right? And they were almost leading her to believe this has to be the person. And she wasn't really sure, but they kind of put those words in her mouth. It's almost like, they were insinuating it so much to where she was like, yeah, I think, no, it's definitely him. And that's when they just kind of like ran with it. So what you see in the affidavit is, it didn't play out that way. So Dylan's attorney and her, and actually all of us, are pretty upset at how they threw her under the bus.
Yeah, I hear that shuffling too. This is fast forwarded. So initially I thought it sounded like paper shuffling, at normal speeds. And so I think this guy's reading from what he wrote. We'll continue.
And actually all of us are pretty upset at how they threw her under the bus in the affidavit. When's the last time you've seen a witness or like a snitch in a case, their actual names being mentioned? The fact that they didn't redact it.
He used the term snitch in the case. Informant comes up quite a bit. Now, they put Dylan Mortensen's name in the probable cause affidavit. I don't think that they're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think that they're trying to hide her, conceal her, and not put her into the case or when trial comes. So I don't think that's the case. But they use the term snitch. I mean, maybe perhaps Dylan didn't tell her friends everything, especially if she may have known the person or the perpetrator. Perhaps she told the police who she thought they were or who he was, and didn't want to seem to be a snitch, and so told her friends that they showed me pictures of somebody. But the term snitch comes out, just kind of seems like maybe, well, this also could be a reason why, if these folks here are thinking in this terminology and thinking in this world or what they're snitches instead of coming forward to the police with the information that you have, that might lead to why also they were calling friends instead of the police during the time of worry and the most time of panic and uncertainty. And that's one thing I want to.
Now, in all fairness, he's right about that. A normal, everyday person wouldn't use the word snitch. Just wouldn't do it. That's something an informant uses, a criminal uses. No, it's not a term everyone else, everyday person is going to use. So he's right about that.
Bring up too. So this source goes throughout all this information, but doesn't bring out that Dylan called everybody in the house. That was revealed by one of the family members of Ethan Chapin, and why they were questioning why Dylan didn't call police. Whatever she saw scared her enough to at least call the other housemates. Now, perhaps, and I've said this before, maybe Dylan did answer. Bethany did answer, and during that call, it gave her some sort of false sense of security, so to speak, and so she went to sleep. That's not how this plays out, but it does seem logical and possible. This guy here who's talking, let's just say he's 100% accurate. His girlfriend is very close to Dylan. It doesn't mean that he got all the information right or he's not exaggerating the story either. So it's not coming firsthand. We'll continue.
All think that the feds and prosecutors threw her name in there purposely to apply more pressure, because Dylan was really wishy-washy during the interrogation, and with them, putting these words, set in stone on paper, it kind of puts a lot of pressure on her now, because everyone views her as like some star witness, the star of the case. So that's what we all believe, that she kind of is getting screwed over by the feds and the prosecutor, because now she has to testify and she has to say kind of what.
Okay. Being an educated woman, being educated in the law, being educated in common sense, street smarts, this guy is a fucking moron. This guy is an idiot. This guy is a liar. And I don't believe this guy has any connection to Dylan. I also don't believe anything he's saying is true, because he's giving very, very broad statements that I could put together. So I'm sorry, but this guy is full of shit.
What words they put in her mouth instead of what she actually believed, and what she actually knows happened, like with her own words, not words that were like shoved in her mouth,
This seems to allude that she knows something different, and that her belief is different than what's in the probable cause affidavit. I question, what is it that he thinks could be different? Is it just the fact that perhaps
he can get his 15 minutes of fame? That's what's different.
Perhaps, the only thing that's different is that she didn't see anything really, and she didn't really identify Bryan Kohberger, and that the that the law enforcement are trying to push her hand into positively identifying Bryan. That reeks of cover up, to be honest with you. But I would.
What? What reeks of a cover up? A cover up for what? Please tell me what kind of cover up there would be. There is no cover up. Nobody's trying to hide anything. This is standard police work 101. There's a quadruple homicide. They're waiting on DNA testing to come back. They have somebody that claims to have seen the perpetrator. So one would think that they would question that one person that has seen the perpetrator, right? Again, this is definitely not rocket science. This is definitely not a cover-up or conspiracy. This is standard police work 101.
Expect the police department to come forward once they have pictures of Bryan Kohberger to ask her to identify and to see if she could identify him. But to apply the pressure that he's alluding is kind of it's putting somebody under duress, and that's not really typically the best approach, because if it does.
Okay, nobody's putting anybody under duress. They're trying to get a fucking killer who had murdered somebody from 4 people, had murdered 4 people. They're trying to get the guy off the streets. That's not applying pressure. That's police work 101. Honestly, police work 101. This is crazy. 3 dead, 5 injured. Thank you guys for the update.
If it comes out that she was under duress and forced to make these, this witness testimony, then a lot of this case is going to get thrown out. We'll continue.
So, yeah, her attorney is pretty upset. She's pretty upset. But at the same time, she knows that, she can be a huge help in this case. So it's not like she's identifying somebody she didn't see. It just didn't play out necessarily like, oh, bushy eyebrows. She saw bushy eyebrows, and was able to 100% identify him, It's just initially when, you know, detectives and feds came in and took over the scene had been contaminated so badly by the local authorities when they first came, first responders. They stomped all over the place, contaminated the scene.
Okay, in my opinion, this is a guy who's trying to get Brian off. This is not Dylan's friend. This is somebody trying to get Brian off. Because the crime scene, they got enough DNA for a lot of different things. So yeah, this is trying to get Brian off. This is fucking insane. Absolutely insane.
He's not wrong. This is a picture from that day there, and you can see that this officer here is not wearing booties. You know, it looks like it appears his hands are covered. He probably is wearing gloves, but he's not wearing booties over his boots. He's stomping all over the ground inside this house. He's not wrong there. Just wanted to point that out.
You know.
Okay, and let me also point out that for all we know, he just took his boots off. You don't know if he had booties on. He may have gotten something on the booty, and that's why he had to take them off as he's walking out. We don't know. So don't assume that it's contaminated because you see one picture of somebody not wearing booties. Just saying.
All the, you know, other people that were at the house, they were, you know, walking up and down the steps, you know, to make sure what they're seeing is what they're really seeing. So, I mean, this is a scene that was really badly contaminated. So to equal the playing field, the feds feel like, you know, having a star witness is, you know, is critical here. But just the way.
I will note that that part has to be speculation on his part, regardless of what Dylan knows or what Dylan has told him. There's no way that he knows that information, that the feds need a star witness. They need a witness to cover up some kind of deficiency in the evidence. I don't know if he knows what the entire evidence is. I know we all don't. And so I just wanted to bring that up.
The way she was being interrogated initially was, it's kind of crazy. It's not what you guys think. They weren't being all sensitive and gentle to her. They were really accusatory and kind of, you know, pressured, you know, put the press on her. Thought that she might have something to do with it because it just didn't make sense to them why she's the only one alive. And on top of that, didn't see anything or really hear anything. You know, she.
Okay, dumbass, she's not the only person alive because Bethany was alive too. So there goes that theory right out of the water.
Didn't want to be nosy. Didn't want to, you know, get up in her roommate's business. She told him to be quiet. You know, I mean, the last thing that crossed her mind was people are getting slaughtered next door and upstairs, you know. So.
Bye, Jenny.
I think that's pretty much everything I've covered. So yeah, just to go over the whole, you know, suffering trauma. She was shocked as she saw him walk.
Okay, can someone tell me what leaked information there was? Where's the leaked information with audio? I'll wait. Oh, that's right. There was none. There was nothing new. There was nothing offered. There was no leaked information. These people need to stop.
Walk past her. Like, it's not as dramatic as you guys think. Like, he was already halfway towards the kitchen and walking out. And for all of y'all that are scratching your heads, yes, police do lie. They've kind of thrown everybody around the ringer through this whole case from the very start. And you have to think about it. Why would a survivor, a victim, have to hire an attorney? Obviously, they were mistreating her pretty badly as they're interrogating her, you know, especially now throwing her name in the affidavit like that. You know, that's all because they're pretty upset she hired an attorney to begin with. And because they want to put a lot of pressure on her from the public for her to be the star witness. But aside from that, she's doing good. She's the same old Dylan. Yeah, no, there's no trauma, PTSD, anything. You know, she really feels for, you know, her friends who are deceased. And, you know, she does beat herself up a little bit about, you know, not being more involved in the situation that night. But, you know, realistically, I mean, something like that's not going to cross your mind that something like that's taking place in your house. You know, so yes, she does feel for the family, and, you know, she's really saddened by the whole situation. But as far as her as an individual, she's still the same person. She's not like a traumatized individual, you know. So yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. And let's see. Yeah, no, that's everything.
And that was everything that he had. So a lot of stuff to unpack there, a lot of stuff to listen to. It's a
Daniel, please tell me what there was to listen to or what there was to unpack. Enlighten me. What am I missing? The guy offered absolutely nothing. What am I missing, guys? Like, I honestly and sincerely don't know, but there was nothing there. But a guy who's trying to get Brian off. That's it. That's it. Saying that Dylan isn't traumatized, then she's not normal. How could she not be traumatized? I think it's perfectly normal for her to be traumatized over this. I can't imagine somebody not being traumatized over this. And if she's not traumatized, there's something wrong with her. And maybe she was involved then. Like, I just don't know what I'm missing here, guys. I really don't. But it's shit like this that makes me want to, like, oh my God, why am I bothering? Why do I even bother? Because it's fucking idiots like this that people are like, wow, there's a lot to unpack here. No, there's not, Daniel. There's nothing there. Whatever. Unbelievable. But now you guys see why I get so frustrated? I think that there was only 1 or 2 targets. It just got way out of hand. She's obviously the only one that even had a visual on a suspect. Exactly right, Rich. 100% dead on. And every single person that had an inside source, not one of them has been right. I kind of backtracked it a little to see if any of these inside sources were right about anything. Nope, not even 10 to Life was right. No, but none of them were right. Not one spirit box was right. It's been total nonsense the whole entire fucking time. Exactly, Kathy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think this guy is connected at all. I really, truly don't. What is that? Water. I don't think this guy even knew who it was. You sure that's not my package? That's what I'm saying. Oh, she's fine. She's not traumatized. Well, that's a little odd. I would think she's traumatized.
Water. It's water.
What?
It's my water.
It's not my package?
No, it's water. Don't let him out.
What?
Don't let him out.
Why?
Heard a fucking pack full of coyotes over there.
No shit.
I didn't see them. I'm assuming they're behind the houses down there.
Come on.
I'm assuming they're behind the houses down there. While he was, and I said, "Fuck no!" And then I grabbed my thing, and I just hear them go crazy. And I was like, "Hell no!"
Well, they can't get in the fence.
They can jump.
Oh, can they? Well, don't let Buka out.
Buka could take them, but it just depends.
There was like take any chances.
Oh, pack. One went off, another went off, another went off, and then you hear.
No shit.
I was like, hell no, and I ran.
Wow. That's crazy. Coyotes. They'd eat my little Bookie. I mean, my Bookie and Fluffer. Come here. Come here. A little coyote's gonna get you. Coyote's gonna get you. I did, Spirit. I don't watch that kind of shit. I mean, I saw it for a minute. I just don't watch that kind of shit. All right, let's see.
Right, and I'll tell you what, there's not a lot more that. Right, and I'll tell you what, there's not a lot more that we can tell you in terms of how long you guys are going to be in the situation you're in right now. I'm sorry that you're all in one room and it's uncomfortable, but you're not leaving the room, correct? Like you're not going room to room down your dorm halls, correct?
No, yeah, we've actually, the police actually came through the hall about twice, and we're clearing rooms, and everyone, it seemed, that's on the hall is just locked in. You can hear people we could hear people that were locked in the bathroom as the cops were just screaming, "Open up, put your hands up," just trying to get everyone out as they can, as much as they could. Just.
Well, you know, that's really tricky because one of the instructions that Jim Maxwell gave us earlier, Logan, he's a retired FBI agent, but he also does active shooter training. He said that if anyone knocks on your door and says, you know, police, don't answer, you know, you don't know if it's them or not, but that the college should put out an announcement that police are doing, you know, building clearing at that point, but be very careful about that. You know, that's a very.
All right, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but are they sure that's a guy? I mean, I see boobs. To me, that looks like a girl. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but those are boobs.
I'm so glad. Thank you. Because earlier your brother and Joey and Katie barricaded their door as well. Declan, do you want to talk to your brother?
Yeah, how are we doing over there, Logan?
I think we're doing all right. We're getting pretty low on rations. We're out of water.
Oh.
Boy. Oh, boy.
But the
Sorry,
spirits
guys.
are here. We're here for each other. That's all that matters over here.
Yeah, glad you guys are all safe over there. That's the most important thing, especially you, Log.
Yep. Everyone in here got each other's back. Everyone's making sure they're okay. I think all that matters right now with everyone is that we all just stick together. Everyone just stay safe.
Well, I'm glad that the two of you have been able to make contact as well. For any viewers who are just joining us, Declan Jackman's twin brother is Logan Jackman. And Declan's, it's hard to see because your shot's very dark, but I think, Declan, is that even?
Oh, no shit. Stacy, person matching description has unalived himself.
Well, I asked this of Declan, Joey, and Katie earlier, but Logan, have you and all your friends in there all been able to call your parents?
Yeah. There was, I believe, at one point where we had to stay quiet and we kind of really had to silence the phones. You were a little worried, but at the end of everything, we did eventually get contact with all of our parents.
Okay, everybody's made contact. You shouldn't be on the Zoom if you hadn't made contact with your parents yet. You have an excuse to jump off the Zoom at any point if you need to get on with your mom or your dad or your siblings. It's nice to have the two siblings together. The other question I have for you, Logan, is the building that you're in, how far away are you from your brother?
So I would probably say a half mile around, maybe, about.
Okay.
Not that far of a walk.
And he talked about what might have been up to about 500 or so in his dorm, especially at that time of night, right? Because the shelter in place went down at about 8:20, 8:18, and there might have been 500 or so people in his dorm. How many people are in your dorm, and how many people are in the situation you're in?
Not nearly as much, but I know that it's probably around the twos, maybe 200, 300 people. But when we were in the dining hall, I would say there was at least 100 people just in there alone.
And they all cleared out of that dining hall?
Yeah. Basically.
Hey, what news station are you guys catching that from? Because I just looked on Google. I can't find anything. It's not showing me that any, up to 10 minutes ago, it's not saying anything. So what news station are you guys watching?
Right now, Michigan State University. Students there are being told to secure in place, shelter in place. Shots were fired near Berkeley Hall. We know this frightening scene beginning to
Come on. This ad uses too many resources. All right, so just play the fucking thing.
Face that blue jean jacket. We do believe those are dark blue jeans and those distinctive red shoes.
Yeah, where are you guys seeing that he's dead? I'm not seeing that. It's been set on the scanner. Oh, hold on. This is why I don't open up fucking Discord when I am live. This is the exact reason. That's why I always tell you guys, don't ask me to open up Discord when I'm live. I don't even know how to listen. Oh. How do I even listen to it? Oh.
Copy, thank you. It's going to be 568 Gunson. They think someone's in the house. That's the only information we have.
243 now.
Thank you.
515, if no one's motion, medics to come in westbound from Larch. And, yeah, that's the only way to come in.
Okay.
Let's see, guys, they're already here.
Okay.
14, I'm with 1037. We're going out right now. They advancing Larch.
Okay. Boston 68. Your welfare.
Oh, yeah. Okay. RTF 3. RTF 3. Boston 68. We are clear. All Meridian calls are clear. Can I get a phone number for one of you there, please? This is Alice. You can call me on my work phone. Who is it?
10-4, thank you. Can I have you head towards 1424 Hazlitt Road in East Lansing for unwanted?
Alice. Double.
Fire Center.
Your phone number, please.
Just to advise, we've got PD heading your way.
517-331-8987. We're clear our last. Do you need us on Hazlitt or Gunson call? 6-4.
Copy, thank you. I'll have you head towards the Hazlitt call. It's going to be 1424 Hazlitt Road, Hall Apartments. It's going to be 3 males banging on the door, very intox, being verbally aggressive and loud. No weapons were mentioned or seen.
Okay.
210. We have about 10 to get them to shelter in place.
1136. I added our subject here into the CAD notes.
This is almost as boring as a
Clear
trial.
out. Unit 568 Gunson, collection matters in the home, ma'am. 746.
746.
347. You said hold there.
Evan will locate
Okay, this is as boring as a trial. I'm not listening to this. I will fall asleep. So I'm going to get off so you guys can all listen to it, enjoy it. But yeah, this shit bores me. I don't like police scanners. I don't like trials. Stuff's boring. So, but you guys can all listen to it. Hey, Betty. But I'm going to shut down. I've been on longer than expected because obviously I didn't expect this to happen. But I'm actually surprised, though, that it hasn't been reported on the news if it was on the scanner. Are you guys sure it was that person? You sure it wasn't somebody else that died? Because I'm kind of surprised that they haven't reported it yet. You know what I mean? What do you think? What news, CW News, Lori? There's new Chris Watts news? Because that's what I think of CW. That's all right, Southern Gal. You got me. I'll always keep you in tune with Banfield and Brian Enton. Oh, shut up, Fluffer. Guys, let Book in. I didn't know there was news. Hold on, let me let Buka in and then I'll take a look. Hold on. Oh, you're on the couch. He's right there. He's not even outside. Jerky? Yo, gluten-free mint Oreos are the best. Just so you know. All right. I don't see any news for Chris Watts.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want...
Oh my God. Oh my God. And they're trying to get...
And trying to get us, you know, to say, Chris, oh gosh, yeah, we will do this. I promise you we will do this. But it's not just that. It's that they called him to manipulate him because they know he wants to do right by them. He wants to, and even said God's prayers were answered. You know, that Frank called and said, I have a place in his heart. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is why Frankie's in the dark. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he's in the dark about it all, and he's the one that's actually being used by Sandy, you know, to be the voice of the family, because he's more believable.
Yeah, because I know there's no way Sandy will get on the phone with him.
Bonnie defended you.
I defended you.
All the way
Thank
through.
you.
You tell me how them girls went down that. He just sit there and stared at it. I said, them girls did not go down through them hatches, Chris.
Like I don't believe the measurement.
All right, I'm gonna have to save this for tomorrow. I can't do this for another hour. But yeah, I'll take a look. I'll listen to it and see what it says. But so far, I'm just getting annoyed with it. Because Cindy Watts is an idiot. So I don't know. I don't know his channel. But yeah, Lori, can you give me the brief synopsis of it? Are they saying they're gonna get him out of prison or what? Thank you, Kaz. Not being cleaned? That's a beautiful headstone. So, Lori, can you give me a synopsis? Thank you, Southern Gal.
You a boss and I conclude that. Super chat, who was that? You didn't have to do that. You a big dog supporter and you prove that.
Jason, didn't you get a membership from somebody else? Like, weren't you gifted a membership? Not out of prison. David's working with the watch. Try to get more answers. What answers could he possibly be looking for? We already know Chris Watts did it. What answers is he looking for? I don't get it. I don't know what answers he would probably want. Yeah, Jason, I'm pretty sure you got a gifted membership, which you can't cancel. You just have to let it run out. Because I remember when you got it. I'm pretty sure you were gifted. No, but I'm saying I don't get what answers they're looking for. I don't know. I'll have to listen to it. I'll get back to you tomorrow. It's okay, Jason. So, all right, I'm out. I will see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow. You know, a lot of people think others were involved. Who, Nicole? But you know what, though, Lori? Even if there was, he admitted to it. So it's all that matters. And everything that he said lined up perfectly with the isn't it? Oh, is he one of Lana's cronies? That would make sense then. That would make perfect sense. But we'll save this for Valentine's Day. I've had enough. Michigan was pretty draining. But we can make Chris Watts for Valentine's Day tomorrow. So if you guys are out with your honeys, I want to wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day if I don't see you. Depending on how lucky you are, I might go live twice tomorrow, you know, because I'm tragedy pimping and all. But it really depends on what's happening with Michigan. I'm back to making candles and getting orders out. But most of the orders went out today, so it's a good thing. I just have a few ones to get out tomorrow, and then I'm caught up. So you guys better place some orders. But that's it. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Get ready for your Chris Watts edition of PURPLEXEDQT. Go back in time. And yeah, I'll listen to this video and we'll check it out. So, but I will be here tomorrow. I have no Valentine's because I'm a loser. And that's it. My kids all have better things to do than hang out with mom. So I'll be hanging out with you guys. Actually, I got to do a lot of laundry. So, again, if you have a sweetie, happy Valentine's Day. If you don't have a sweetie and you're single, I may do a candle giveaway tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. So that's it. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for super chats, PayPals, Cash Apps, love, and everything in between. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, if I don't see you, happy Valentine's Day. Have fun with you, sweetheart. And I'll see you guys later. And if anyone wants to send me flowers, you know where I live. You got my address. And if you don't have my address, well, you never bought a candle then. So, all right. I will see you guys later. Peace.